Hey everybody, James here. I figured I would go ahead and do an unboxing for you guys. And then I'll explain kind of why I'm doing this unboxing, which I'm really not that happy about. So, let me just open this thing up here real quick and I'll show you what I'm talking about. But I've got to try something different in hopes that it's what the issue might actually be. So that might be a first indication to you if that flap stays open at the top. Let me zoom in here real quick. I'm sure you all know what that is. Alright, anyways, let's get this guy out of here. Ended up getting it from PRS, $224, which, you know, what do you do? But anyways, you're looking at the Reef Octopus. This is the NWB-150, they call it, 6530B. One of the classic skimmers, they call it. Alright, let's zoom in here a little bit here so you see what I've got going on here. First thing that's going to be different about it is the fact that it isn't in sump. I've never had an in sump before. The half cone design with the bubble diffuser, that should be interesting. Gate valve. I had something like a gate valve on the Coral Life 65 that I used to run, so kind of familiar with that. One of the really awesome features is the 20 watts that the pump actually uses. Footprint 12.6 by 8.7. It's just gonna fit inside the center of my sump, so I'm gonna remove my live rock, make an egg crate stand for it, and be removing my Kato. And it's 22 inches tall, as you see. The reaction chamber is 5.9. They call it 6-inch. And it's good for 130 to 208 gallons according to this box. But from what I'm reading, the heavy load on this thing is 90 gallons, medium load is 120, and light load is 150. So I figure I've got 95 gallons worth of system as far as actual water goes. So I think that might be just about right. Now the whole reason that I am doing this, I'll take you over to the skimmer real quick so I can kind of explain why this is really being a drag. Alright, as everybody knows, I've been running this Terminator for quite some time. And believe me, I love the design of this thing and everything. And you see it's still got its little bubbles and everything, but you notice that it's translucent, basically. You see the white up on top versus what's going on in here? It's not getting the right amount of air inside here, and it's not because of the skimmer's fault. The problem being, I believe, which is going to have to go down to this right here. Alright, that's not the original motor for this, or pump. Alright, if you remember, I had done a video regarding the Atman pump. Well, the Atman pump, the original one, the impeller ended up burning up on it. So I tried to get the actual impeller and couldn't. The only thing that you could get was the needle wheel. This pump and skimmer can't use a needle wheel because of where the actual venturi is. Venturi being down here after the main pump. So that was kind of one of the weird designs about it. But the skimmer is what they consider a pressurized skimmer. So it needs your feed pump, which is down inside here, and then it needs the main pump. The main pump's got to be able to send enough pressure through this line and down past this venturi, which is going to be pulling the air in at a high rate. The Mag 7, I don't even think it's rated for 700 GPH. And the original Admin that came with this skimmer was 950 GPH. So it's a pretty drastic difference. And as you all know, I replaced the pump with another Admin that was supposed to be the exact replacement. Fact of the matter was, the wattage was a lot more than the original one by, I think it was close to 20 watts more. I think it was running about 80 watts or something like that versus 65, something of that nature. It also had the smaller impeller in it. The problem with that new Admin pump, which now I'm using for like just mixing my salt water and stuff is the fact that it gets hot. Come to find out, it's not an external pump. It's an internal pump only. So what was happening is it was getting hot and it was shutting the pump off. And I tested it in water by itself and it never shut off. So that's why you don't see the Admin running on here that I had purchased. So basically, long story short, I figured, you know, instead of just going and trying to get another pump and trying to get this guy to work, I'm going to go ahead and just try another skimmer to see if it's going to make a difference. The main difference I'm talking about is everybody knows the weird fights that I've been having with algae, not just this cyano. This is pretty new. Mainly due to this stuff up here. Everybody knows that I've been having a crazy thing with the GHA, and believe me, I've done pretty much everything under the sun to try to get this stuff out of here, and it just continues. So it's making me wonder if that's the reason. It seems like it did start around the time that I had lost that original pump, that I started getting all this crazy growth back in my aquarium. So I don't know. But anyways, unfortunately, that's what I'm doing. I'm not throwing the skimmer out. I might try to figure out something later on down the road. I might use it for another tank, who knows. So I'm not going to completely toss it and give it up. Anybody that's got one of these Terminators, you know, I have nothing bad to say about it, and probably never will, because it's always done good for me. I mean, if it was that bad or whatever the case was, I think my Reef would be dead. And just for the record real quick, I'm trying not to make this video crazy long, but let me show you my drain bucket. You see the color of that stuff? That is opaque. That is black skimming. So it's not like it's not skimming. I just don't think that it's actually skimming enough based on how I've got that pump on there. And you know, so I'm gonna go ahead and go this route, see how it works. If this doesn't do it, then I honestly don't know what the heck else to try, other than like the new algae thing that's out there suddenly and stuff like that. So that'll be the other option probably. That, or it's going to have to be ripping the entire tank down, cleaning the rock, and just restarting the whole tank, which I really do not want to go that route. So I'm kind of hoping that this might be the solver, which I hope you guys understand. And also the fact that I'm running 2 pumps on that thing. It's going to be saving me a lot of electric in the long run, because this is only 20 watts. I'm running a total of probably like 115 or better between the MaxiJet 1200 and the Mag 7. I'm not really sure how drastic the wattage is, but the fact that it's 20 watts is pretty amazing. Alright, here's the actual overall diagram. It's the NWB-150 they call it. It's, I'm sure a lot of you guys are really familiar with this anyways. One cool feature about it is it has a sticky pump, or CG pump some people say. So that's going to be something pretty amazing as far as that goes. This is your US to metric. I believe it comes off of here somewhere. So we're going to probably the ball valve to this gray thing. Let me just show you this real quick. It's the air intake tubes and all this good stuff. Silencer is up here. So, like I said, I'm not really familiar with this particular type of skimmer, so it'll be something different. Big gate valve. Look at the size of this thing. Huge gate valve. I believe this is 1.5 inches on this thing. Looks like 1.5 inches, 1.25 inches. Not really sure. Yeah, it doesn't really say in this actual thing. I'm not really going to get into that. And then you got this right here. Now, one thing that I think is funny, a lot of people are like, oh, these things get packed in tons of styrofoam, blah, 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 blah. You guys see any packing all inside the skimmer? I don't. Oh, this thing is heavy. Holy crap. I didn't expect it to be as heavy as it is. But, that was the biggest thing. Everybody was like, you're going to have foam inside of it. All this kind of stuff. Guess what, guys? There's zero foam inside this skimmer. So, zero foam in there. Let me zoom in on that guy just real quick, just to show you. Look at that. Absolutely no foam inside the skimmer whatsoever. So, that's a little bit of false information, but that's alright. I don't mind at all. This is going to be a totally different, weird thing for me. So, I don't know, I'm excited at the same time of not being excited as far as swapping out skimmers. I don't know how this is going to work with my sump in regards to how my sump is designed. Hopefully I won't have to redesign the sump itself. We'll have to see. Core view. I kind of like how they got this like engraved up here. This is actually pretty nice. The rubber seal for the cup. So, and then of course you get the little drain right down here, which I'll probably utilize just because I'm lazy like that. I'd rather have a drain connected. And then of course the Sichi or Siki, whatever you want to call it, which is actually, you know what? This doesn't look like a Sichi pump to me. This is an Octopus. Oh yeah, this is the Octopus turbine pump. Alright, never mind. Right here. And it says 38 watts of power. That's kind of interesting, right? Box says 20 watts. This says 38 watts. That's kind of interesting. So, not really sure about why they would do that. And that's kind of interesting. That kind of threw me for a loop. And That's kind of interesting. That kind of threw me for a loop. Here, I'll show you right up here. See right there? 20 watts. That's the OTP 2000S. OTP 2000. Well, you can see it clearly says 38 watts. That's interesting. Alrighty then. So anyways, there you go. That's the unboxing. I gotta get to work as far as making my actual egg crate stand. And we'll see how this works out, guys. Alright everybody, thanks for watching. Hope I didn't disappoint anybody in regards to why I'm doing this. I'm really just at a loop to where I've got to try something to see what the cause of my algae is. So hopefully this resolves it. If it doesn't, then I don't know, we'll have to figure out something else. But alright, next video I'll probably be this thing up and breaking in. Thanks for watching everybody. Bye bye.